Hi, my name is Leticia Jimenez and welcome back to our channel of Amplified Timbre. We're going to be talking more about the TCM mic. And today we have another percussionist with us, Richard Heath, and he's also LA based. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself or your background.
Okay, I was raised in Inglewood, Los Angeles area. Went to high school at Morningside High School. And started playing when I was about maybe 12, 13 years old. I think I got my first conga, I think when I was about 13. And just started playing to records, and I'm basically a self-taught musician. I
Wow.
never took any type of formal lessons or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned how to play by listening to records and watching guys play on TV and going to the park and watching percussionists and just kind of mimicking what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got into high school, I kind of, it became a more serious thing. I got into the jazz band in high school at Morningside, and we had a music teacher, Mr. Butterfield, and I started to play with local bands at that time, different local bands, and just developing, you know, over the years. And when I graduated from high school, graduated in '73, I got offered a gig through a group that was out of a club called Mavericks Flats.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy named John Daniels who used to manage groups out of Mavericks Flats, and he had overseas contracts with different clubs and venues overseas, and he put together bands and would send them over there, and I got to audition for one of his bands, a group called De Blanc. And it was a group that was based around a lead singer named Ralph De Blanc. And we had female vocalists and
Wow. Mm-hmm.
big band and everything. And we went overseas, and I did that for about 3 years. We kind of stayed on the road 6 to 8 months out the year for the next 3 years. So I graduated in '73, July '73, and I think I was on the road in like October of that same year.
Wow, that was quick. Yeah.
It was real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So after that 3-year period, one of the musicians that was in the band was a cousin of, I don't know if you've heard of the group, the Brothers Johnson, George and Louis Johnson.
Okay, yes.
Well, he was a cousin of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were out on the road, he got a phone call. I think we were in Europe somewhere, and he got a phone call from his cousins, and they said, "Hey, we just signed a contract with Quincy Jones. And we're in
Wow.
the studio right now doing our first album. Quincy wants us to put together a band to go on the road.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, can you come back to the States?"
Yes, I can. And he did.
And at the same time, he said, "Hey, you know that percussionist, Richard, that plays in the same band as you? Ask him if he would be interested in playing with us." So,
Wow.
So that's how I got a chance to work with the Brothers Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
It was through their cousin, Alex Ware. He referred me. And so we actually left. We were in Europe, and we left the tour, came to LA. Within 2 weeks, we were on the sound stage at A&M Records, rehearsing for a stage tour of Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones used the Brothers Johnson band as his band for his tour.
For his tour, nice.
And that's how he actually introduced the Brothers Johnson to the public, through his tour.
Mm-hmm.
We did his music, and we did our music too.
Very cool.
That was fun. I did that for, wow, about 7, almost 8 years. And I actually left the music industry in 1983 and went back to school. And I was kind of disillusioned with the music industry back then. You know, there was a lot of things going on that, being that young, I wasn't really prepared for.
Yeah.
So I decided to leave the industry. I had just recently got married, and I was like, wow, it's gonna be a rough life for a marriage. You being gone all the time. So I decided to leave the music industry, and I went back to school and ended up in law enforcement.
Wow.
For 32 years.
For 32 years? Oh my God. But you're back now, right? You're
but
playing.
I'm back now.
Okay.
Yeah, I just recently retired and got my equipment back together and been woodshedding. Actually did my first gig on June the 15th of last month. So I'm looking forward to doing some more stuff.
Nice, exciting, wow, yes.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved, or tell us about your experience? How did you get the TCM mic? And tell us about your experience with the mic.
Okay, well, let me back up a little bit on that. First of all, when I was interested in coming back into the music field, I didn't even know what a cajon was. And Hector Torres.
Because you were used to playing the congas and what else?
Exactly.
Okay.
Congas, bongos, timbales, you know, hand percussion. But wasn't really familiar with the cajon. And I got introduced to the cajon through Hector Torres,
Okay.
the creator of
the
Amplified
Timber. Yes.
TCM, Mike. And he's the one that introduced the instrument to me. And then, you know, when I saw what he could do with the instrument, I was like, wow, this is something I have to add to my repertoire of musical toys. And then once I got interested in it, I ended up going to a couple of the NAM conventions.
Okay.
The National Association of Musical Merchants. I went to that in 2000 and this past year and the year before. So I got a chance to kind of hang out with Hector at his
booth.
And I got a chance to see several percussionists play the cajon with his miking system. And I was like, wow, this thing is amazing. I mean, it really brings out all the bass, the mid-range, the crispness of the highs. And you can't really appreciate it until you kind of sit back and listen to someone else play it. Even when I'm playing it at home, I don't hear what I hear if I'm...
Right, yeah.
You know? So that was the reason why I got his miking system, and you know, he turned me on to the guy Cox Cajon, custom cajon maker. I bought one of his cajons and got one of Hector's miking systems, and I love it. I love it.
The sound is crisp.
The sound is crisp. I mean, there's tones in the cajon that you hear from a distance that you don't really realize what you're doing close up. When you stand up, it just picks up everything. It amplifies the total sound, the natural sound.
The natural sound. And without you having to play really hard.
Without you having to play really hard. I mean, it's amazing.
Nice. That's great. So you heard it here.
Yeah.
TCM mic.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? You have any gigs or projects or anything else coming up that you want to tell our viewers?
Nothing scheduled or anything. I'm open for calls. If someone would like to call me for a gig. But I'm just in the process right now of just honing my skills, getting back to where I used to be and going beyond that. You know, I'm shedding every day and working on my technique, everything. So.
Okay, nice. Is there anything social media that you want to?
I have a Facebook page. It's Richard G. Heath Jr. And then I have a Instagram page, which is just Richard Heath Drummer.
Cool.
Yeah, and I also go by short. My full name is Richard, G. Heath Jr.
Junior, okay.
But I go by Richard G.
Okay.
Yeah, I've adopted.
Okay, so don't forget, subscribe to our channel below, okay? Like us. And also go to the amplifiedtimber.com website and you can view more of the products and the different kinds of wood as well. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you, Richard, again for being with us.
Thank you.
And stick around. Don't forget, we're going to be having more episodes with more musicians and different artists.